The Untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing games are missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, once again, 90 days of boxing, day number 79. We are getting into the final stretch of this 90 days of boxing journey. I've said it many times. I'll say it before again, man. Every time I go live, every week that I complete doing this whole 90 days of boxing, I feel like I've grown, not just as a content creator, not just my presence here on camera, but I feel like I've grown as a person, as an individual. And it's always great to come here and interact with you guys and talk boxing. So we'll do it again. I'll be here for about an hour. So get your questions in. If you're watching the live, smash that like button. If you're watching the playback, smash that like button. It's been a long, as you guys can see by the title, it's been a long week, but we blessed, baby. We blessed. We made it through another week. There's some things that I'm really over the moon about. There's some things that got me a little frustrated in life, but either way, look, man, we blessed through it all. So hope everybody else has had a good day and having a good week. And that's what it is. We're all kind of just marinating on the aftermath of Richardson Hitchens versus Gustavo Lemos. The majority of people seem to say it was a robbery. I haven't rescored it yet, but I thought, watching it ringside, I thought it could have been a draw. But it was a great fight. A lot of people. I'll talk more about Hitchens and Lemos tomorrow on the Aftermath Live. But what I can say, the little bit I will say now is that a lot of people complain about Richard Hitchens' fight against Zepeda being boring, and the Lemos fight was not boring. It delivered in the entertainment department. It was a good fight. So it is what it is, man. But listen, there's three of you guys here. We're 2 minutes deep. Come on, man. Don't be stingy on me, man. Don't quit on me. We 79 days in. Make sure you smash that like button so that the YouTube algorithms know that you guys are rocking with your boy BT in the Untouchable True School Sports Empire. We here, man. He says, hello, BT. Hand history ball. Good to see you. He says, Lemos is the one who did not make it boring. I agree with that. I agree. Lemos wouldn't allow Hitchens to fight on the outside and do what he normally wants to do, make it boring. I'm with all that. But there were some times in the fight where Hitchens had to, at times, hold his ground and be sharp and precise down the middle. And to his credit, like, he hit Lemos with some good shots. And I want to reserve all this for tomorrow. But listen, God, some people are blessed with power, some people aren't. He's not no puncher, but he's doing the best he can with what he has, and it is what it is. One thing I can say is that he has already asked for the he did say on Twitter that he would love to do a rematch, so he's not ducking the rematch, But we'll talk more about it tomorrow, man. I just wanted to just chill, talk to you guys about anything else in boxing but Lemos versus Hitchens because that's for tomorrow's live. You guys know the drill. We don't talk about the major fights till 48 hours after the fact on the Aftermath Live. So we'll talk about it some more tomorrow. I want to let some things develop with that because you guys know in boxing that things happen after fights. So we'll let it marinate for about 24 more hours and we'll go live for it. But with the conclusion of Hitchens fight week, with Richard Hitchens versus Lemos, you guys know what time it is now. You guys know exactly what time it is now. It is officially Angelo Leo fight week. Wednesday, we will be in Plant City for Angelo Leo versus Eduardo Baez on ProBox TV. Make sure y'all tune in. Looking very forward to it, man. His third fight at featherweight against a very tough veteran. He wins this one against Baez. I have reason to believe that there's some big, big, massive things right ahead for Angelo. So tune in, man. It'll be a good fight. Baez don't come to lay it down. He ain't no punk. He's been in there with some of the best of them, guys like Navarrete, guys like Enrique Vivas, a whole host of guys, Rais Salim. So he's well tested. I think definitely the best guy he's fought on paper since he came out that long layoff. But one last thing about the Hitchens thing, because I'm gonna do a video on this, but I'm gonna do a whole video on what I'm gonna tell you guys right now. But I'll talk about it briefly here. Today I was on Twitter, and when I was on Twitter, I saw none other than Lou DiBella flapping his gums, running his mouth about the Gustavo Lemos Hitchens fight. I'm paraphrasing what he said, but in so many words, he pretty much said that he's tired of these bad decisions in boxing. He's tired of this broken system which alienates the fans and this, that, and the third, right? So I kindly, very kindly, very, nice. I went ahead and I pointed out to him and I said to Lou DiBella, I said, when Maxie Hughes got robbed against George Kambosos, we heard none of this. So then some time went by, a couple minutes went by. He tweets me back. Lou DiBella, to that, Lou DiBella tells me, he says, that's not true. A lot of people were criticizing the decision, and that's why, Max Hughes got the fight against Peta in the Eliminator, right? And then to that, I told Lou DiBella just respectfully, I said, look, man, but we didn't hear it from you. You didn't say George Kambosos got a good decision, and that's where I was getting at. And I said, I understand he's your fighter, but you can't sit here and complain. And then when it's one of your guys, then you want to be hush hush, and then you want to use the whole like, well, Maxie didn't win the fight, but his stock rose up tonight. Bullshit, right? So I told him that, and respectfully, I didn't curse at him or nothing. And what did Lou DiBella do? He tucked his tail and he ran his ass out the kitchen because he couldn't take the heat. So I have more extended thoughts on that later on. But yeah, Lou DiBella blocked me on Twitter today on some bullshit. So listen, Rick Laser was right about him. Rick Laser was right. It's the scum sucking pig. That's what he is, man. I ain't never had nothing against Lou DiBella. I've always respected him for what he did for HBO back in the day. But you mean to tell me, little old BT, True School Sports, I can get into arguments with guys like Raymond Ford and Richard Hitchens disagreeing over a boxing opinion, and these dudes is decades and decades younger than Lou DiBella, but they can handle criticism and disagreements like grown-ass men. But the guy that's supposed to be our elder, supposed to be showing us how to conduct ourselves, he can't conduct himself like an adult and wants to play these tacky games. So it is what it is, man. When I see Lou DiBella in person, I'm gonna have some more to say to him. So don't worry about that. But nonetheless, that's where I'm at. That's just one of the many interesting things that happened to me today. This morning I was on the Boxing Voice with Ness, and Ness got I was on there for like 10 minutes this morning, giving my little thoughts on Lemos and Hitchens. So it was the first thing I did this morning was like literally I woke up, took a piss, and went on the Boxing Voice. So shout out to Ness for inviting me. Ness is one of those guys I respect. And before I get back to the comments, let me just say this, guys, because today on Twitter, there was also another big announcement, and I wanted to bring it to your guys' attention. You guys know that watch and support me, that one of my best friends, not just in boxing, but one of my best friends in the entire world, is also one of the best reporters and one of the best boxing media people in the game, which is Sean Zattel. Sean Zattel reported today on his own Twitter that he has separated from Fight Hype and whatnot. So he will not be working with Fight Hype anymore, and he's got new endeavors on the way. I've talked to Sean already. I already know what he's gonna do. He's talking about starting his own channel. So I know in the next couple days, you guys should be seeing Sean Zattel's channel launching and having content there. So I want y'all to go support him. When he drops his first video, I'll make sure I'll drop you guys a link or something like that so you guys can go support him, because he really is one of the very unique talents and media people in the game, and he's my friend as well. So I definitely want the world to support him, because I feel like he's not only good for boxing, like Sean Zattel is good for boxing. So I want to support him in his new channel growing. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, he did announce it today. He's not with Fight Hub no more. So it is what it is. Sometimes things come to an end, and that's just life. Seasons change, things change, but the mission is still the same, which is to give you guys, the boxing fans, the best and highest quality content in the world, the best quality content in the world. And I'm sure I got more than enough confidence that Sean is going to deliver in a great and major way for the fight game. So yeah. But anyway, let's get to the comments. He says, if Hitchens had a choice, he would have grabbed Lemo's hand and back, then asked him to slow dance the entire. Yeah, he was doing too much holding for my liking, but it is what it is. Lord Zed says, hey, what's up, BT? Do you think Claressa's size advantage guarantees her the winner of Bumgarner? I'm not so sure, since Claressa doesn't knock girls out. Claressa Shields is a better fighter than Alicia Bumgarner, like all the way around the board. Like size or no size. If Claressa Shields and Alicia Bumgarner were the same size, Claressa Shields would still whoop Alicia Bumgarner. She's the better fighter all the way around the board, and it is what it is. So yeah, I think regardless, she's gonna. If they were to fight, She beat her. Funny enough, I'll tell you guys this. Last night, this is an untold story that I'll give you guys right here on True School Sports, since you guys are tapped into the 90 Days of Boxing lives. Because look, when you watch these 90 Days of Boxing, these lives, you may from time to time hear things here that you don't hear anywhere else. Because I'm tapped into this boxing game. So after the fight, I'm gonna say it was like 2 or 3 hours after the fight. I was at the food court eating some tacos at the Fountain Blue at this little Mexican spot called Roadside Tacos. I was eating two carne asada tacos with some nachos for some chips, and some dip, right? So I'm sitting there, I'm eating, I'm drinking a Coke, just winding down from a very long week of content, a couple long weeks of content, work, traveling and whatnot. And Clarissa Shield, I see her walk into the thing, and she goes in the Mexican the roadside tacos line, and she's just there minding her business. And then Alicia Bumgarner walks through, and they start jawing at each other, even at the food court. And Clarissa Shield said, what she say? She said, "Ain't nobody worried about you. Ain't nobody worried about your punk ass." And then Alicia Bumgarner, they're both yapping, but Alicia Bumgarner wouldn't come to where the line was. So it is what it is, man. Like, she went. I think she exited and she had to go take an Uber somewhere. But it was pretty cool to see even after the cameras were off, Alicia Bumgarner and Clarissa Shields in the food court still drawing at each other at like 2 in the morning. So yeah, man, really funny stuff. Raul Salazar says, "Congrats, bro. What are you congratulating me for? But thank you. What's the congratulations for? What do you think of a Terrence Carr versus Virgil Ortiz fight? I think that's one of the best fights you can make at 154. Terrence Crawford didn't do much of anything else, so why not fight Virgil Ortiz? So I like that fight. You guys know I think the world of Virgil Ortiz's jab. He's got one of the best power jabs in the business. So I would like to see how Terrence Carr matches up with Virgil Ortiz at a weight class where he's going to be even bigger and stronger than he was at 47. My man Throat Puncher says, your Pops had it lit on here last night. Yeah, Pops, man, he's lit all the time. He's just naturally lit, man. He don't have an off switch. Like me, I got an on, I got an off switch. Right now, I'm chilling. I'm not like going crazy, but Pops be going nuts. He said Pops went 5 hours. Did he really? Was it 5? I didn't even see. Did he really go 5 hours? Shit, he was live for a while last night, so I might have to go back and watch more of it myself, but I don't remember. But it was 5 hours? Possibly doing his thing. Hi, how was the Hergovich interview, Dr. Spacco? It was great, man. I did it a couple weeks ago when I was back home in South Florida, and Philip Hergovich, he's I know everyone says that Philip Hergovich doesn't have no personality, but then people that say that I know for a fact don't really know him like I do. That boy's he's one of the biggest personalities in the heavyweight division, and I'm glad that our interview he was a lot more open than usual because people got to see like what I always see with his personality, and he's a really funny guy, man. I think his accent makes things even funnier when he says certain things. So, I can't really say what it is right now, but I know exactly what's happening to Philip Hergovich next. So I believe it'll be this week. This week, guys, there should be a massive announcement. I was told by a very reliable person what's going to be happening next in his career, and I'm very excited about it. Very excited about it. Do you think Hergovich will fight Dubois on June 1st, and who will be the winner of that fight and how? That's a very good fight. Dubois is one of the guys that's been mentioned. I think if they do fight, I think Hergovich would win. But listen, there's a lot of options out there. There's been Dubois. There's been Joshua. I know who he's fighting next, but I will not say whom it is. It's a good fight though. I won't say who it is, and I won't say anything about the circumstances that the fight's happening under. Is Hergovich training at Ronnie Shields or what? Yeah, he's still training at Ronnie Shields. He hasn't. I don't know if he's went to Houston yet. I know when I saw him in Florida, I know he's supposed to have gone back already, or will be going back to Houston soon. So because he's got to start camp. JT says I'm not a fan of Ortiz at all. Jermaine or Virgil? Well, I like Virgil. Virgil is amazing. Virgil Ortiz is a great fighter. I just think what's been going on with his career recently with the whole, like, what was it? What was it called? Rhabdomyosis. Even though he says that's not what it is, I think that is what it is. His health, it's been really annoying. His health not allowing him to keep fighting has been annoying. Why doesn't Clarissa Shields get the heavyweight belt? Wouldn't she beat whoever the hell has the belt? Yeah, but I mean, look, she's already been like three-time undisputed, two-time gold medalist. She's got money now. I mean, she's financially secure. I mean, if she did it, that'd be great. But like, she got everything she wanted out of her career. I think, she made I think Claressa's probably looking at doing other things outside of boxing, which is fair enough because there is life after boxing, and when you accomplish what she accomplished, I feel like you can do whatever the hell you want. Did you see Hergovich spar against Lenier Pero? No, I didn't get a chance to watch him do any sparring when I was back home, but I saw him train once when I was there that day. I interviewed him, and he's definitely he's ready. He's ready to fight. He's ready to fight. He's ready to show the world what he's capable of doing. But that's later on, man. Right now, man, it's Angelo Leo fight week. We ready to see Angelo Leo do his thing, and God willing, put on an impressive performance, and I think a world title might be right around the corner for him. Bro, I hope that Hergovich next fight is good because I want to see him in the best shape. He's a monster. Yeah, nobody's really seen the. People think I'm just talking out of my ass, but Richard Hitchens that I was talking about out of my ass about Gustavo Lemos, and he saw that it was a hard fight. Raymond Ford and his people, I mean, they thought I was talking out of my ass when I picked. I know they won, but like Komatov had great boxing skills and he was out boxing Ford, so it's like I don't talk out of my ass. If I say somebody's good, they're good. Yeah, he's a monster, man. I would love to see him. I'd love to see him finally like be in a fight against a notable opponent where he gets a chance to really show the world what I've been seeing all these years. BT, do you think if Usyk wins, he'll have the chance to be crowned the greatest Ukrainian boxer ever, or is that crown still be on Klitschko's head? Vladimir, really good fighter. Vladimir had one of the longest title reigns in heavyweight history. Um, Personally, though, I've always thought Vitaly was better than Vladimir. Usyk, if he beats Fury, is gonna have a great argument for that because he will then have cemented himself as the Evander Holyfield of our era, being a cruiserweight undisputed champion, now to be an undisputed heavyweight champion. It's very hard. It's very hard to make that move from cruiser to heavyweight because the punching power is so different. It's such a gap in power that a lot of guys that have made that move have gotten doubled over and chopped up. So for him to not only be competent, not only be elite, not only become champion, but to get all the belts. I mean, come on. How could you not give that some thought? How could you not give that some consideration that Usyk is the best Ukrainian boxer ever? It's a hell of an argument, hell of a debate. One that we could definitely visit if he does beat Fury. If he beats Fury, that sounds like a good video to make. Is Usyk the greatest Ukrainian boxer of all time? You know. But shout out to all 8 of you here, man. Happy Sunday. Happy WrestleMania Sunday. Make sure you guys go ahead and smash that like button. Let me know where you guys are watching from. Let me know what city. Let me know what state. Let me know what continent. All that stuff, man. I love seeing where everybody's from. I met a lot of lovely people at the fights last night. People there. People. The boxing fans are always great to me. Whether I'm in Vegas, South Florida, LA, Japan, people are always great to me, man, because I feel like, I do a good job about talking about a lot of different fighters, so it goes appreciated in the boxing world. But yeah, man. My man Dr. Spacco says, actually, I'm from Croatia, also like Hergovich, and here many people don't like him because he is a calm guy, and Babs was talking a lot of shit about him, and he was talking lies like he can beat Hergovich. People don't like Hergovich in Croatia because he's calm? I'm confused. So they do like Hergovich or they don't like him? Because you said a lot of people from Croatia don't like Hergovich because he's a calm. So they don't like him because he's like humble? Like, Martinez versus Ioka is huge news. I wonder how Ioka accepted the fight, but being a diva and others, I guess Martinez is fighting for pennies. Well, pennies to us in America
is more than likely not pennies in Argentina. So that's where it probably becomes easier to negotiate a fight with him. I had the privilege to meet Fernando Martinez last night. Obviously, my Spanish ain't the best, but I communicated to the best of my abilities. He seemed really excited and in good spirits for the Ioka fight, and it's his chance when it does come off and when it does happen. It's gonna be his chance to really have that legacy, like defining fight, that fight that really stamps him as creme de la creme, top shelf champion. And for Ioka, look, Ioka ain't been doing much of anything. He been cherry picking and being hard to negotiate with, but he ain't the only one, man. There's so many fighters in boxing that are hard to negotiate with. Trust me on that one. And Babbage told him he would beat him in sparring. It was funny because everyone recognized that Hergovich was talking the truth because Babbage lost against Rosansky in the first round. I mean, I listen. Alan Babbage, I like him. I like Alan Babbage because he talks a lot of shit and he's entertaining to listen to. But he was never, he's never like been anywhere in the same solar system as Philip Hergovich. Yeah, they don't like him because he is humble and he doesn't talk a lot like Babbage, but they recognize that Hergovich is a good guy and Babbage bad. So not many people know that Hergovich beat Babbage with like 50% power. Yeah, listen, man. If what I come to realize with Philip is Philip will talk a lot if he knows you, if he's comfortable with you, and he likes you. Now, like I know Philip. I've known Philip for 4 years. We developed a good rapport over the last 4 years, so he's comfortable around me. That's why when I interview him, you see him open up, and you guys get it. Like, and when I interview him, that's the real Philip Hergovich. The Philip Hergovich you guys see like on the other interviews at IFL TV. That's him when he's more guarded and he's not comfortable with whoever's talking to him. But when he's with me, that's more of that's the real Philip Hergovich. That's the Philip Hergovich that I would like the world to see a lot more of. If Bam does this thing for the year, how far will he climb up on your pound for pound list, BT? Um, I don't have like honestly, I don't really have like an official pound for pound list. I feel like pound for pound is so subjective, but I would definitely say, I mean, he beats a Gaio, and then who else has he got there? I mean, that's a great way. A guy will go a long way for him. But I really think like I'm not gonna shit on Bam. Bam is doing some really good things. He's beating some really good fighters, and I'm a little frustrated at myself because I hold myself to a high standard when I do these interviews. And the one question I should have asked Robert Garcia when I was interviewing him was, you know, I asked him about Bam fighting Inoue, which I knew what he was gonna say. I should have asked him about Bam fighting I should have asked him about Bam fighting Junso Nakatani because he's right there in the weight class above. Because that's the kind of win I feel he's going to really need to get to command that true top five pound for pound respect. These guys he's beating are really good fighters, but the narrative is going to be that, these guys are a little older, they were past it, this, that, and the third. But a fight against a guy like Junto, who's rated very highly right now. I think that fight could go a long way for him as far as establishing clear cut top five pound for pound supremacy universally, not just on some people's list, but all lists. So yeah. I know Philip is a top boxer and a guy. I hope all the best. Um, I hope you'll be the best version and shut up all the haters. See you soon. I need to go. All right. Thank you for tuning in and thank you for stopping by, man. Much love to all the Croatians, man. I got a big fan base in Croatia, man. I want to go to Croatia one day. It looks like a beautiful country. I've looked into it. It's on like I got a list on my phone of like the top 7 countries I want to visit that I haven't gone to yet, and Croatia's right there in the mix. BT, I'm a huge Ioka fan. I just have to be honest. Ioka is too old to turn into diva. It's disappointing. Yeah, man, it's unfortunate, man. But look, at least he's fighting another champion, a good champion, a credible champion, a guy that we know in Puma Martinez who's gonna come to fight. So it ain't like the number one fight he wanted, but he could have done a lot worse. He could have fought like another Jasper Perez type of opponent or something like that. Falling Star says, if Tyson Fury wins, will he be the greatest British fighter, BT? Is the Lennox Lewis crown in danger? No. I don't know. I like Tyson Fury. I'm still a big fan of him, even though he disgraced the entire sport and damn near lost to Ngannou. But Lennox Lewis is a damn great fighter, man. Like everybody he ever fought or lost to, he avenged those losses. He was a great fighter. I feel like he's a underrated fighter. He has. If somebody told me they said BT Lennox Lewis is the greatest heavyweight of all time, I wouldn't even get mad at them because that's how great of a fighter he was. Um, I think Fury would have. I think for Fury to have a true case of being better than Lennox Lewis, he would have to beat Usyk. He would have to beat Joshua, and he'd have to be like a Philip Hergovich or something like that. So, I think if he could put together those three wins, then that'd be more of a discussion. But until then, it's like I think you're clutching at straws a little bit. Shout out to everybody here, man. It's Sunday. We just chilling, winding down before we have to inevitably go to back to Florida for the Angel Leo fight. So if y'all get your boxing questions in, get your non-boxing questions in. F it, man. It's one of them kind of lives. Well, I don't even care right now. We talk about whatever you guys want right now. Just chilling. If Bam pulls off a win against Estrada, I want Tanaka versus Bam next, and I want that fight too. Of course, at Tanaka, when I was in Japan, as you know, hand history, last year, that was a fight that Kosei Tanaka had expressed to me that he wanted. Bam Rodriguez, even though he doesn't want to fight, even though he won't fight Roman Gonzalez, he's a marked man in Japan. Ken Shiro said he wanted to fight him. Tanaka said he wants to fight him. So I think either one of them guys, they're top guys. They're great fighters. They're guys that have accomplished things in the sport. They're not just any old fighters. And they're not old either. Like, they're not, like, past their best sell-by date. These are guys that are either that are smack dab in the middle of their prime or maybe just now slowly exiting their prime, but still very close to their prime. So, yeah, that's a fight that I would love to see, Bam versus Tanaka. People always overlook Tanaka. He doesn't really get the love that the guys like Ioka or Inoue or even a Ken Shiro get. But he quiet as kept. He's been one of Japan's best boxers for a long time now. So, yeah, man. I want Ngannou to fight Lucas Brown, but I don't know how if that sells enough. So who will he have to fight? Who will he have to fight someone harder? What do you think? I don't think, honestly, like, I mean, not far be it for me to tell another person what to do because I don't like when people tell me. I don't like in my life when people have told me, BT True School, be more realistic, don't cover boxing, go do something more conventional with your life, go get a day job. Like, I don't like when people tell me that shit, so I'm not gonna tell him what to do. But if he's gonna fight, I would like to see him fight maybe someone like a how about Derek Chisora? Derek Chisora likes to fight and get knocked the fuck out. So why not why not do that fight? That'd be a spectacle. That's a easier, a more winnable fight for Ngannou. And I'll tell you this: if he can't beat Derek Chisora, he needs to hang him up. After that, if he can't beat War Chisora, pack it up, champ. Boxing ain't for you at the top level. You get a big, strong African dude who can punch a little bit. BT, do you see Tanaka versus? How do you see Tanaka versus Estrada playing out? That's a great question. Guile was a great counterpuncher. Tanaka has shown that he could be a counterpuncher, and he's very athletic as well. That's a fight where I would slightly lean towards Tanaka, actually. I think Tanaka, because when you have Japan versus Mexico, the advantage that a lot of Mexican fighters have over the Japanese is that they have unorthodox styles and that their punches come from weird angles. Guile was not that kind of fighter. Guile was more of a textbook fighter, a guy with straighter punches. And I think his lack of activity fighting a guy who is as young and as fresh and as hungry as Tanaka would come back to hurt him. So I would say Tanaka wins a decision that fight, a close decision. Will you live stream Jake Paul and Mike Tyson, BT? I mean, listen, man, I'm going to tell you what I tell everybody else, man. I'm not worried about tomorrow because today has enough troubles of its own, man. I mean, I may more than likely, yeah, I will stream it. But honestly, man, I'm just trying to get through these 90 days of boxing and enjoy these last 10 days. And then I'm going to take me a nice little break from these lives for like about a week and then refresh and get some other things on this channel in motion. So, yeah, I should be live for that fight, but I can't even remember. I can't even remember the date, and I don't even know what the hell I'll even be doing around that time. So, who knows? But hopefully, Mike Tyson knocks out Jake Paul because It would be a horrible look if Jake Paul were to knock out Mike Tyson. That'd be bad for boxing. That's just the truth. Ngannou versus Michael Hunter. Would Michael Hunter take the fight? Because Michael Hunter don't want to fight anybody. Michael Hunter hasn't been a real fighter for like almost 4 years now. Doug Philip Hergovich don't want to fight nobody. Rather go to Team Combat League and just pad his record there. And I like Michael Hunter. Quiet as kept, I like Michael Hunter. He's a good fighter. He had a lot of potential, but he threw it away. Hughie Fury versus Ngannou. I mean, look, Ngannou. Another thing you got to factor in when you talk about Ngannou still fighting is that Ngannou's fought Joshua and he's fought Fury, so he's used to a certain pay grade. So the question you got to ask is Frank Warren or whoever's putting up the fight, are they going to pay him enough to fight that caliber of fighters? I don't think so. So I don't think those fights are realistic for him if he continues to box. Falling Star wants to know: are you feeling depressed by the MLB season so far? Yes, man. It's funny enough you mentioned it because today I said it like this, man. I've been a Marlins fan since I was 4, so I'm 29 now. So that's 25 of my 29 years on the earth. I've been supporting the Marlins like diligently. I've spent thousands and thousands of dollars watching play in South Florida, New York, California, all over the damn country. Love them, love my Marlins, right? But today on Instagram, I pretty much announced the fact that I'm laying my Marlins fandom to rest because this franchise does not care about me. They don't care about the fans. They don't want to do nothing. They don't want to do nothing right. Like they had a playoff team that they willingly chose to not spend money on and improve. So now they suck. They're the laughing stock of baseball again after a great year. The the manager Skip Schumacher, like they're not. They announced today that he's gonna be leaving the team after the season. So that was the final straw with me. I'm not watching the Marlins or supporting them until they get serious about winning and get a new owner. I can't do it no more. I got too much shit going on for the Marlins to not even try. I don't care if they win or lose, but just try. Just show me something, man. They won't even do that. So to answer your question, man, yes, I'm very depressed about baseball. I'm not even watching baseball. Do I agree with Ryan Garcia's comments about Prime drinks? I've never had Prime before. I don't know what it tastes like. So I can't really speak to like what the drink tastes like. But I think KSI is a cornball, and I don't like KSI, so I'm with him on that. KSI is a cornball. Do you think Melvin Jerusalem can become undisputed? Can he pull off a Jinjiro win and the Oscar Collazo rematch? Melvin Jerusalem's a very good fighter, man. I like him a lot. I think he's very good for the 105 division. Congrats to him on becoming a 2-time champion. It was a spectacular performance that he put on. But no, I don't think he beat both of them. I think he probably beat one of them. I don't at best, maybe one of them, but he's not beating both of them. No way. If he did, um, wow. He at that point, if he would have beat Udai, Jinjiro, Collazo, he's a pound for pound top 10 fighter, no question. That there would be zero question because now you're talking about a 2 or 3-time world champion, unified champion, undisputed. I mean, he would go down as one of the most legendary fighters in modern day boxing from the Philippines. I think that's how legendary I think that would be for him. So I wish him the best in doing that. He's a fun fighter to watch. He's got heavy hands. He's a educated pressure fighter, but I don't think he would do that. Did you have Hitchens winning? No, I had it a draw when I watched the ringside, but I gotta watch the TV version and rescore it. They reported Schumacher isn't coming back next season. Why? Because Kim Ing hired him. I just think, Skip Schumacher is a winner. Like, he's a winner. He's a great manager. Best manager we had in 20 years. And they didn't want to spend any money. They left him out to dry after he did a masterful job last year. And I think part of it is the Kim Ing thing. And the thing is, the Marlins hired this new GM, this freaking nerd from the Rays, who doesn't know shit about baseball, like, yeah, the Rays have such low standards for winning. They hang up wild card banners, and that's good for them. But nah, this is the Marlins, man. We win championships here. So they're trying to turn us into the Rays, and I can't take it. I can't take it no more. I've had it up to here with the Marlins, so I'm checking out. I'm checking out until they get serious about winning. Curious, which boxing venue have you never visited that you want to visit someday? As far as like arenas, if we're talking about boxing arenas that I've never gone to, that I want to as far as boxing arenas that I've never gone to that I want to go to, I've always wanted to go to like the arenas in like London in the UK, so like Wembley Stadium, O2 Arena, things like that. But as far as gyms, I've always wanted to go to Wildcard Boxing Gym. I'm still very upset because I went there in 2021 and then it was closed because of COVID, so I'm still mad about that. But the StubHub Center, I've never gone there, so that's one of them. Johnny, shout out to my boy Johnny. He says Sam's Town. Yeah, Sam's Town. If they had fights there, I would have been there already. He also said, BT, go live till 12:10 so you can count it for the next day. No, I'm not doing that. We'll be honest here. Today's day 79. Tomorrow's day 80. So tomorrow's the beginning of the last 10 days, and we're gonna finish it nice and strong. I get the feeling that Bam Rodriguez will headline the Texas Rangers someday. Do you think that is a real possibility? No, because Bam is not from Dallas. He's not from that area. He's from San Antonio, which is like 2 or 3 hours away. If Bam was gonna headline somewhere, he would headline somewhere like where the Spurs play, the basketball team. Now Virgil Ortiz, he could headline Texas Ranger Stadium because they've actually had him throughout the ceremonial first pitch. And if I'm not mistaken, I think his manager Rick Marigan worked out a sponsorship with the Rangers. So I think the Rangers like have some sort of sponsorship with Virgil. Shout out to the best, the true school. What are we thinking about Jordan Gill versus Zelfa Barry? That's a good fight, man. That's a fight that, I've been sleeping on a little bit because I've been so focused on Angelo Leo and all these fights we're covering. But that's a good fight. Jordan Gill is coming off of a very good win against Mick Conlon. And I like Jordan Gill in this new weight class he's in. He looked stronger, he looked bigger, he looked more physical. Zelfa Barrett almost won the world title when he fought Shavkat Rakhimov. He acquitted himself very well, fell a little short. I would favor Jordan Gill slightly in that fight. I think he's the stronger guy. I think he's the tougher guy. I think he's the guy with better work rate. I think he can box just enough to offset some of the things that Zelfa Barrett likes to do, because Zelfa Barrett likes to fight in spurts at times, from what I remember. So good British fight. Yeah, I think Virgil has a chance to headline there one day. You know. He said, finish it quickly and swiftly. And he said, really and truthfully, you ducking me. Yeah, you're using all my little sayings. Really and truthfully, quickly and swiftly. BT, does Virgil deserve a tune-up? People out there are complaining about his return bout opponent. Well, technically, like, I know he fought Frederick Lawson, but I don't even count that. I don't count that because that dude just fell over and there was a bad stoppage. No, man. Lawson is not no damn good opponent at this point. Frederick Lawson has been shot for years. Um, and really and truthfully, like, I mean, I guess, yeah, he deserves a tune up, but like Virgil Ortiz is such a good fighter that I actually think that he could just go straight into a fight with a top 10, top 15 guy and still win easily. That's how good I think he is. But that's why they have managers and promoters for a reason. These managers have tough jobs in their hands, so they're gonna make the decisions that they feel is best for their fighters. Devin in the Giant Stadium is a real possibility. The more I think about it, man, that'd be crazy. I wish they would have. If they had a fight at that stadium, which I want to go to, Levi, was it Levi Stadium or what's it called now? It used to be called AT&T Stadium or AT&T Park or something like that. Great stadium, man, and one of the top nicest baseball stadiums. If they ever had a fight there, I would go, hands down. BT, do you think that the Uzbek Kazakh fighter can give Crawford problems? You're talking about Madrimov? Not really, no. No, I think Terrence Crawford beat him pretty soundly. But he's a good fighter. I just think that he's one of those. He's like a lot of Uzbeks, but he's more athletic. He kind of needs you to stay there for him. I don't know. Imagine was good. I just to beat Terrence Crawford, you got to really be somebody top grade, top shelf, upper echelon fighter. He's a good fighter. He's an upper echelon fighter, but I don't think he's on that Crawford caliber. But again, there are weight classes for a reason. Crawford's never fought that high before, so we'll see. But they got to make the fights. My man Perdeep Singh says, "Is Leo versus Baez this?" Yes. So for those of you who want to know, April the 10th, this Wednesday night, Pro Box TV. It's free here on YouTube, so anybody can watch it. Just as long as you have internet connection, it'll be free here on YouTube around 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Central. The card, I believe, starts. Check out Angelo Leo, man, one of the best featherweights in the world. He's 2-0 with 2 knockouts as a featherweight. If he does it again, he'll be 3-0 with 3 knockouts as a featherweight. So taking on a tough guy in Baez, he wins this fight. All of a sudden, you're talking about a world title shot next. I'm telling you. Is there a big homeless problem in Vegas like there is in LA and San Francisco? In certain parts, I remember when I used to go to North Las Vegas a lot. There is, but I feel like just in most major American cities, there's a lot of homeless because you know you have in America you have the haves and you have the have-nots financially. So it's like you gotta really make sure you're on your P's and Q's with your money these days. Otherwise, you could end up there. Do you think Melikuziev is a hype job? Will this hype ever return? Man, that boy got knocked out by Gabe Rosado. And all respect to Gabe Rosado, but like Gabe Rosado is known for looking good and losing entertaining fights. So to get knocked out by him when you're supposed to be the undefeated big bad killer Uzbek, it's not a good look. And he's like I'm not trying to talk. I'm not trying to down talk Uzbeks. I'm just making light of the situation. You look at Odebek Komotov. You look at Mirja Akhmadaliev. You look at Ergashev. These are all guys that at one point or another have had to deal with a lot of politics because these Uzbeks just don't have that marketability. So they gotta always go through the ringer of trying to become mandatory challenger, and then even when they do, they try to file exemptions and get around them and things like that. So I don't think the hype will ever be what it was, but in a sense, I think it's good for him. I think it's good for Melikuziev to not have the hype on him because he could actually just focus on the boxing without everybody having these big expectations on him right away. And it might actually bode well. It might pan out better for him. It might actually wind up being a type of a situation where he performs better because of that. Which fringe fighters do you think have the potential to jump the hump of the boxing business and politics this year, BT? Which fringe fighters, like fringe contenders? I mean, there's not anybody that comes to mind right now. But as far as a guy that constantly gets overlooked, that I think is going to make a big splash in boxing this year, is the guy fighting Wednesday night, my guy Angelo Leo. People always tell me he ain't this, he ain't that. They try to tell me things I don't know. Okay, watch Wednesday night. And then after Wednesday night, when the next fight gets signed, then watch that fight. And you gonna see. You gonna see what I'm talking about. Do you think Hitchens won that fight? Is he cutting too much weight? I think he's definitely cutting too much weight. No doubt about it. I got confirmation from his manager, Keith Connolly, in our interview that they had to hire Perfecting Athletes, which is like a very popular nutrition company that helps fighters get down in weight. And I know that Hitchens, kind of in his own way, had made light of the fact that this is a sharp weight cut for him and whatnot. So it's like he's tall, he's very long, he's got dense bones. He could easily be competing in the welterweight division. But 140 is where he's been having a lot of success. So they're trying to campaign there, win a world title there. As far as him winning, I haven't went back and watched the TV version of the fight, but when I was there at the fights, I thought it was a draw. I really did. I thought, I thought Lemos did a great job pushing him back and bringing the fight to him. But then I also thought there were some rounds where he kind of let Richard Hitchens off the hook. So I mean, I don't know. I gotta watch it again. Hitchens landed some really sharp shots on Lemos, but he just had that, bro. He just doesn't have pop like that. Like, he doesn't have that pop. I'll tell you right now, if he had a real pop with that sharp jab of his, he'd really be something, something crazy. Isak, let's all keep in mind that Lemos dominated round 8, which means you score at 10-8. That's subjective. I mean, when it comes to giving guys 10-8 rounds because they dominated a round, even that could be subjective. So that it all depends if the judge gives it a 10-8 round. He did beat his ass in that 8th round, though. So, yeah, it was one of those rounds where you could score at 10-8. But if the judges aren't scoring at 10-8, then it's not 10-8, you know? That's just how it goes. 10-8 rounds. If you're giving a guy a 10-8 round without a knockdown, it's completely subjective. But, again, I'm going to go back and watch the fight. I don't really have any new opinions on the scoring. I thought when I was there, I thought it could have been a draw, you know? But I'll tell you this. I'll put it to you like this. Hitchens won the fight on paper, but if you ask me, like, which guy would I have rather been walking out that ring that night, I would have rather been Lemos because Hitchens was taking the more significant shots. And all the time I've heard in fights where the boxer gets robbed. Well, he was looking the guy that won. He got like he was looking for the fight, and he was the bigger puncher, and he landed the more significant shots. But so if you're going off of that, which you know, ring generalship is a part of that, you probably have to favor what Lemos did a little more than Hitchens. But again, I got to go back and watch it again, and I'm gonna watch it again before I do my aftermath live tomorrow. FA Jogba versus Guido. They got FA as a heavy favorite at -700. He should be. He probably should be even higher. Guido is, listen, I'm not trying to put nobody down, but, you know, I got 4 eyes, and even though I haven't gotten my prescription updated in a couple years, it still works. Guido is not that, like, good in the grand scheme of things as far as, like, top heavyweights. FA Jogba is a guy that I don't think he's gonna win a world title, but he's a fringe contender, top 10, top 15 kind of guy. A guy like him should be dealing with the Guido Vinialos of the world easily. So I'm gonna tell you like this: if FA Jogba lose to Guido Vianello, listen, man. I'm gonna have some things to say because Guido ain't that good, bro. Perdeep saying Guido's a medalist. Who cares, man? And people like to bring up that amateur stuff. That doesn't mean anything when you turn in the pros. So Audley Harrison was a medalist. He won a gold. Got his ass whooped in the pros. Zhao Shiming, multiple gold medalists from China. Got his ass whooped in the pros. I've watched the guy fight. I've been watching Guido Vianello since like 2018. I've watched about 3 or 4 of his fights. Very, very, very pedestrian, to say the least. So if FA can't deal with him, then Top Rank need to cut him. If FA can't beat knockout and look good against Guido Vianello, Top Rank got to cut him. That's where I'm at. There could have easily been a point taken away from Hitchens for holding. I agree. I was sitting there. I was a little frustrated with the holding, but he was very fortunate. The referee that he had didn't take away any points. It got to a point in the fight where I think Lemos' pressure was so draining on Hitchens that his only defense mechanism at times was to hold, because, he's an outside fighter and a mid-range sharpshooter, but he's not a guy that looks comfortable on the inside. Hitchens might get mad at you again. Listen, man, it's becoming a thing now. The channel's getting bigger. My voice seems to be amplifying more in the boxing world as this year progresses. A fighter gets mad at me once every month. That's par for the course now. Last month, it was Raymond Ford. This month, it's Richardson Hitchens. Next month, who the hell knows who it might be? Tune in next month to see our next episode of who the hell did True School piss off this time. Today, it was Lou DiBella. So it's like all I do, I don't come with no negative energy. I love everybody. I don't hate. I can't hate nobody because my life's too good to hate on anybody. God's blessed me tremendously to hate on anybody. But I just tell the truth and just talk boxing, and people don't like it, He says, by the way, BT, I also scored a 6-6 with the 10-8 round. Okay. I see what you're saying. I ain't mad at that. The Nobody 92 wants to know, what did I think about Jose Lopez versus Steven Navarro? Now, Steven Navarro, I know, was a highly touted amateur, won a lot of national titles and whatnot. made his pro debut. You know, I wasn't like I was there. I saw the fight, but I wasn't like paying the most attention to it. And from where I was sitting, my view was kind of interrupted because Chris Mannix, Sergio Moore, and Clarissa Shields were blocking half the ring, so I couldn't really like look at it that much. But man, he won, and good for him. You know, he's out the 1-0 star in the pros. That's all I can say. He looked decent in the fight. QC wants to know, what up, BT? Hope you're good, man. Stopping through to show some love to the channel. Hitchens need to stay away from Matias. First of all, QC, good to see you. Hope all is well out there in the land down under. And as far as Hitchens, man, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like Hitchens, man. I think I've grown a fondness towards him, like just dealing with him and whatnot. Like, yeah, he yelled at my ass and whatnot, and that's what it is. But I felt like he was honest in his post-fight interview, saying that like he needs experience, he needs to continue to develop, which is true. You know, because he felt like there was a lot of stopping and starting with his career with Mayweather Promotions because they weren't like doing what they needed to do for him early in his career. So I don't think he should fight Matias next, and I do think the Gustavo Lemos rematch is a very Keith Conley may not think it's an attractive option, but I think if Lemos signs at Matchroom and gets busy with one more fight and can build his profile up a bit more, do the rematch by the end of the year. Be a fun fight. What did Lou DiBella get mad at you about? Basically, he was bitching and moaning about, he was crying about the Lemos fight, and he was crying about the Gustavo Lemos fight and about how corrupt boxing is and how this broken system is alienating the fans and how people need to be honest about the results of fights. So then I told him, I said, well, when George Kambosos fought Maxie Hughes, we didn't hear none of this. And he was like, well, that's not true. You heard plenty of people complain about George Kambosos and Maxie Hughes. That's why Maxie Hughes got the shot at Williams Pereira. And I said, yeah, that's true, but we didn't hear it from you. We didn't hear it from Lou DiBella because George is your fighter. And you wanted to turn a blind eye to corruption when it came to George, and you wanted to justify it by saying, oh, well, Maxie's stock went up. And I told him, I'm like, look, I know George is your fighter, so I get it, but just wanted to point that out. And I wasn't disrespectful to him or anything. I didn't curse at him. I didn't call him out of his name or nothing like that. And he blocked me, so it is what it is. Rick Laser was right about Lou DiBella. Boy can't take no smoke, so he got the fuck about the kitchen. Should Junto go to undisputed at 122 when Inoue moves up and wait to see Inoue 126, or move back down and wait? That will be the guaranteed. I think Junto should try to work on clearing out the 118 division first. Focus on what weight class you're at, and then if the stars align and if it's truly meant to be, if God wills it to fruition, then Inoue and Junto will happen. Oh, man, MEZBX is out here saying the pertinent things. He says, once they really step up Mark Castro's competition, it is a wrap for him. And I would concur. I would agree. I got nothing personal against Mark Castro, so let me preface that. I'm going to have to start prefacing this now when I talk about fighters because now they get all sensitive when you used to give your honest boxing opinions. But Mark Castro, he turned pro at 135. He never really oohed and awed at 35 like that, apart from the one performance he had on the Roman Gonzalez Martinez undercard where he knocked that one guy out. Apart from that, he's 35. He didn't exactly light the world on fire after having a standout amateur career. Had big expectations as a pro. Was fighting on a lot of Canelo undercards and whatnot. But Keith Conley made a decision to move him down to 130, and he fought Abraham Montoya last night. And Montoya, good veteran fighter, has a win over Venado Lopez, who's now the IBF champion. So he's a good fighter. Tough Mexican. Doesn't have a lot of hand speed. You can see Montoya's punches coming from a mile away. And Castro was supposed to go on there last night and make a statement, and he failed to deliver a statement. Now, he won. He's 13-0. We've seen this movie before with matchroom fighters. Like, look at Raymond Ford. Raymond Ford didn't look great for a bunch of fights until, he fought Orbek Komatov and rose to the occasion. So I'm not ruling out that it could have happened for Mark Castro, but Mark Castro's defense looks Mark Castro's defense looks very suspect. Mark Castro, I really think, I mean, look, it's easy for me to say, right? But Mark Castro, not everybody's meant to be a star. Not everybody's meant to be, the next big thing in boxing. And truth be told, I think Mark Castro is gonna be a solid fighter. He'll be a little top 15 contender. I don't maybe under the right circumstances, and he's got a great manager behind him, so it can happen. Maybe he wins some sort of vacant belt or fights the right guy at the right time. But Mark Castro, to me, when you talk about that crop of match from that Matchroom USA stable, you talk about that initial crop that signed, that Diego Pacheco, that Raymond Ford, Otha Jones III, Mark Castro, Nikita Abibi. He's one of the guys out of that whole crop that I was always just like kind of like meh, like he's whatever. Um, and I kind of maintain that. I like him, good guy and all, but haven't really seen the improvements that I've needed to see from him to really be sold. So I will continue to go ahead and just wait and see. I hope you don't change how you critique fire because of the recent. No, that come on, man. That if anything, I've actually been enjoying the backlash I'm getting. I've enjoyed the back and forth with Raymond Ford. I've enjoyed the back and forth with Richard Hitchens. And you know what's crazy? These guys can get mad. They can have their moments of being like pissed off with me, and it's okay because they're fighters. And if I'm someone that's saying that they're gonna lose a fight, or if I'm saying that they're going to be in a tough fight and they've been training their ass off and they think that, and they're trained to dominate their opponent, then naturally they should get mad at me. But you know what's crazy? Whether it be Ford, whether it be Hitchens, or whether it be another fighter, every fighter that I've ever had backlash with, except for one, we've always had that respect, and we've always had good interviews after that. So I saw Raymond Ford last night. Raymond Ford walked by where I was sitting. And I said, "What's up, Ray?" And he came up to me and he clapped me up, and he was cool. It was cool. It was a pleasure to see. It was a pleasure seeing Raymond Ford this week. I think low key he's a fan of the channel. I know Richard Hitchens is a fan of the channel. So you can't say you love boxing and not love True School Sports. That's just how it goes, man. You can't say, "Oh, I love this sport, but I hate True School Sports," because that's an oxymoron. Because this is the home of boxing on YouTube. So if you hate boxing, if you hate me, you hate boxing. Um. Castro is nowhere near as talented as Raymond Ford. That's what I mean. Well, they both had pretty big amateur accomplishments. I know Raymond Ford was National Golden Gloves champion. I believe Castro might have been National Golden Gloves champion as well. But I would say, yeah, I would say Raymond Ford has more skills than Castro. He can box. He's big. I mean, one thing I'll say about it, I didn't realize how big this dude was. For 126, now I can see why he's having a hard time making it because he's wide, man. He's a wide load that Raymond Ford. Is Devin versus Terrence gonna be a real fight someday? Absolutely not. Terrence will say that Devin doesn't bring nothing to the table, and Devin won't fight Terrence because Devin Haney's scared to death of Terrence Crawford. He'll go full fight Barrios. He'll fight anybody who he feels he can beat at 47 for a title, but he won't fight Terrence. They're scared to death of Terrence. And they know what it is. Like Bill Hayes, a smart guy. They don't bullshit themselves. They know who they can beat and they know who they can't beat, and they're not fighting no damn Terrence Crawford. And even if they wanted to, like Terrence has been on such bullshit recently that Terrence I think would just say like, Devin don't bring nothing to the table. BT, just stay professional and let them make an act. That's what I do. Like I just chill. I just be chilling and just ask my questions. And I'm like, oh, that's how you feel. Cool. Like it ain't that deep, man. It's just boxing. The Marlins finally got their first win. Huge game for Arias. Yeah, I heard, man, but I don't care anymore. Like I've I've renounced my Marlins fandom today. It's been after they announced that Skip Schumacher is no longer the manager, and they willingly chose to not improve the team. I don't care what they do. They've lost me as a fan until they show me that they're serious about winning. Because I'm still old enough to remember when the Marlins actually had standards and were competitive consistently and won the World Series. And that should be the standard. There should be no other standard. So until they get an owner who's serious, I don't give a damn about what the Marlins do. Honestly. Sports Mando. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Sportsman, because I see that check mark. I think I've been on your channel before because you cover a lot of Filipino boxers. I'm not sure what video I watched, but I know I watched some sort of video on some sort of Filipino boxers. I'm trying to think, who the hell was it? I know that channel and I see the check mark. He wants to know, good day, bro. Do you have an idea why Henry LeBron pulled out of the Charlie Suarez fight? I have no idea why he pulled out. All I can say, Sportsmanda, is that that would have been a good fight. You know, I was just watching Charlie Suarez the other day on TV, just watching some old fights, and good fighter. If they did pull out, I would say that, you know, I know Henry LeBron's manager pretty well, Peter Khan, really famous manager. Peter Khan manages Xander Zayas. He used to manage George Kambosos Jr. If the fight didn't happen, I guarantee you it had something to do with money, as always in boxing. So it's either money or maybe, I know with a lot of the Puerto Rican fighters, they like to fight those guys on Puerto Rican Day weekend. And if they fight on if the Puerto Rican fighters fight on Puerto Rican Day weekend, they normally like to get them in there with somebody that they can beat. So maybe they're planning that. Those are the only two reasons that I could reason why Charlie Suarez isn't fighting Henry LeBron. But maybe, who knows? I gotta talk to Peter Khan soon anyway. So maybe that's a question I'll have for him when I talk to him. And he said, yes, bro, I'm doing live commentaries as well. Thank you. Well, thank you, man. Thank you for stopping by. Shout out to all the Filipino fighters. I got a lot of love for the Filipino fighters. You know, I've had a chance to talk to a lot of them over the years in interviews, like John Rio Casimiro, Nonito Donaire, and a whole host of them. So yeah, I got a lot of love for the Filipinos. My boy Angelo Leo just beat up one of the Filipinos, Mike Plania, back in January. So, you know, I know the Filipino fighters were having some bad luck recently, but Melvin Jerusalem, he came back and he restored honor, and he restored pride, and he restored glory back to Filipino boxing, and he beat the brakes off of Uday Shigioka to become the two-time champion. So shout out to Filipino boxers, shout out to Sportsmanda. Make sure you subscribe to him if you like Filipino boxing. If that's what you like, that's something you might want to consider. If you could put on a Japanese card in America, what matchup would you make? What match would I make? I would definitely have Ken Shiro in America, that's for sure. I would have Kento Hatanaka in America. And I would have Jin Sasaki in America. So let's do this. We'd have Jaron Ennis versus Jin Sasaki. That's a card I want to see right there. You know, a fight I want to see right there. Because what else is Boots doing right now? What else is there to do? Jin Sasaki is explosive. He could punch. Why not that fight? I can't say like all the fights I would put on that card, but that'd be probably the #1 fight I put on. If Inoue fights in America this year or next, will you try to get a press pass and tickets to the fight? In America, yeah, I would. I definitely would. 100% I would. I'd love to cover it. You want to talk about all the Japanese fighters, but you don't talk about Eric Rosas. Eric Rosas barely fights. I know he fought on Friday, but man, like, I'm one man. I'm covering the fights here in Vegas. You know, I'm still making videos about other things. I'm a one-man army, man. I'm only one guy, and you want me to be God. You want me to be the God of boxing, and I'm not the God of boxing. There's only one God, so it's like, yeah, he fought. What, did he win? Did he even win? You doing all that talking? Did he even win his fight? Why does boxing not do right by Dominican fighters as they do Puerto Rican, Filipino, and Mexican fighters? Because there hasn't really been a Dominican fighter that I think could generate the money that the boxing industry would do right by them. You know what I'm saying? Like, there hasn't been a Dominican fighter that economically has moved the needle like that. And a lot of that is due to the fact that most Dominican fighters don't speak English. And that really caps their market value. Alapal says, what it do? What's good, Alapal? Good to see you, champ. Hope all is well. Do you want to see Inoue fight in Japan someday, BT? Um, yeah, of course. I mean, but not just Inoue. I want to see anybody fight in Japan. I'm hoping when I go back to Japan this year that either Kosai Tanaka or Ken Shiro get a fight signed. Yeah, he did, and it was a good fight. I recorded the fight for you, homo boxing ass. Yeah, man, it's still the homo boxing champ. Where else on YouTube in American boxing from an English content creator was anybody talking about mother loving Gustavo Lemos in 2021? If you could find one person that was talking about Gustavo Lemos in 2021, then they could be the home boxing too. But I didn't see it. But shout out to everybody here, man. We're well over that. We're a couple minutes over an hour, so I'll freestyle it now, and I'll end it when I feel like it. So I'll give you guys a couple more minutes today, and then I'm gonna get up off here and rest the rest of my day because I got another crazy week ahead. Going to Plant City. I got a big interview in South Florida when I get home. And other non-boxing related activities to tend to when I get home. I can't wait for that. And yeah, man. Julio Cesar Chavez didn't speak English, and boxing is right by him. Sergio Martinez didn't speak English either. Julio Cesar Chavez is Mexican. When you're Mexican, you already have a built-in fan base, so it's different. Dominicans don't have that in boxing. As far as I don't care what the Broadway Joels of the world say, they don't. I've never gone to any boxing fight in anywhere in the world and seen a smorgasbord of Dominicans with Dominican flags just supporting the fighter. Never seen it. Still waiting. So, hopefully that changes though, because I like Dominican fighters. Sergio Martinez didn't speak English, but yeah, but Sergio Martinez was on a big platform knocking people out. I hear you, man. Who do you think will get exposed this year, BT? Jared Anderson for sure. If Top Rank makes the right fights, Jared Anderson. But not it won't be this weekend against Riyad Mary. He should beat him. Jared Anderson and Merjan Akhmadaliev. Those are the two we're gonna go with. Merjan and Jared. But the thing is, Merjan Akhmadaliev have been exposed. He's been exposed a long time ago, so it's like he got exposed again. BT, who would you favor, Junto versus Bam, and why? And shout out to my boy Haki out there in Malaysia. Damn, that's a tough fight. That's a good fight right there. It's hard to pick against either one of those guys, man. But I'll probably in that fight, I'll lean slightly towards Junto, only because I feel like he's mastered the art of boxing and being disciplined at that size. Bam, I think would try to angle around him, but I don't know. He gonna have his hands full because Junto's volume, Junto's increasing boxing skills, his defense is cleaning up a little bit. Forget Bam. Anybody against Junto is a hard fight. Paul Williams versus Floyd Mayweather Prime 147. I know everybody likes to use the Paul Williams fight as a fight to say Floyd wouldn't have won. But I'm a big believer in Floyd. I think Floyd would have found a way to beat him. Man, Pacheco barely won his fight. He has no inside game. Is he the next Eddie Hearn fighter to get exposed? It was, I'm not gonna lie, I like Diego, but Diego did underwhelm in his fight against Sean McCallum. Sean McCallum is a guy that it's come to my attention because I was talking to someone last night about Sean McCallum. Sean McCallum was a sparring partner for Tim Tszyu for the Tony Harrison fight. He sparred a couple guys. He's been in some camps, so he's a good fighter. Just never had that fight to really show what he could do. I feel like his stock should go up. He hit Pacheco with some good hard flush shots. Pacheco showed durability to take the shots, but yeah, I feel like in the fight, Pacheco, I was looking to see that extra gear from him, and I didn't see it. And I think it's going to be very interesting because he's ranked very highly, but he's still young. So he's still kind of in that he's kind of in that Xander Zayas position as well, where you're very advanced for your age, but you're still young, but you're highly ranked. So the matchmakers and managers are gonna have to get very creative with him. I know the Edgar Berlanga fight is not happening because Keith Conley has already ruled it out for Edgar Berlanga when I interviewed him, but yeah, if he's not careful, I mean, I like Diego. Diego's I think the world of Diego has a talent. We'll see how he develops, but yeah, if he's not careful, if they step him up to like a Christian and Billy or Eric Bosnian type of caliber of opponent, he may get hurt in that fight. I feel like last night when I was watching him, and I think he was a little too over reliant on the right hand. He can box, but feel like when a guy gets on the inside of those long arms, he looks very uncomfortable. So again, he's still young. You don't want to make any snap judgments. If anything, there's anything I learned from the Raymond Ford situation is that you gotta let fighters develop, man. Let him develop. We'll see how he goes, but tough fights ahead. Tough, very very tough fights ahead for Diego Pacheco, and looking forward to see what he does. Pacheco still needs to work on the body. I would like to see a guy like Gongora. Yeah, that's a hell of a fight. Gongora can punch. Gongora is dangerous. That's the kind of fight I like for him. Pacheco hesitated the whole fight like he was surprised by his opponent's skills, and I would say so as well. I mean, look, McCallum was an unknown commodity to most of boxing. Very strong, though. Came to win. But again, for Pacheco, you want to see him getting a guy like that out of there. So we'll see. Nobody 92 wants to know what's next for Pistol Pete Dobson, Peter Dobson. Funny you asked me that. I saw Pete Dobson multiple times during the week because he's good friends with Richard Hitchens. So I saw him last night after the fight. I saw him every day pretty much during fight week, and he's a good friend of mine. He informed me. Pete actually informed me that his next move in boxing, he's gonna go to Russia and fight an exhibition, which is exactly what he did before he fought Conor Benn. He fought in a little exhibition in Russia and got paid for it, so I guess he got another opportunity out there to do that again, and that's what he's going to go be doing next, unless he gets any sort of offers to fight. So I wish Pete the best, man. I love Pete Dobson. I want to see him prosper. He just got to – I like Pete, man. He's got to be a little more disciplined in between fights. What happened to Galto? Johnny said in the live before that Galto would have a better performance than Lemos. He didn't Augustine Galto didn't perform badly against Galaya fight. I saw Galaya fight last night too, because after the fights I went to go say hi to my good buddies Cal and Gamaliel fight, because I know them from back in 2019 when I went to the gym. So I was talking to them, and while I was talking to them, I saw Galal, and man, his right eye was all effed up. He was all stitched up. Galto did a good job counter punching in between the shots, but Galto's defense was a little too leaky. And I think Galal did a good job of keeping those shots nice and sharp down the middle. So he was able to outwork Galto and push him back. And that was the difference in the fight, But, he didn't perform bad. But, yeah, Lemos did perform better than Galto, if we're comparing the Argentines on the card. The Nobody says, I would love for you and Bobway Joel to do a video talking boxing one day. I wouldn't rule it out. We interacted one time. I remember on Twitter, I interacted with him one time. He got all mad because, what did I say to him one time? I think he was saying that he only interviews the Dominican fighters that are winning. And he was talking about Frankie Fortunato in this case, who I know from South Florida. And I'm like, well, what do you mean Dominicans got to win to get an interview with you? Like, aren't you the voice of Dominican boxing? And he's like, no. On my channel, they got to earn their interview. So I was like, okay, hey, who am I to tell somebody else how to run their channel? But I'm just like, man, if you're the voice of Dominican boxing, you gotta interview all the notable Dominican boxers, if that's what you're calling yourself. So that's what it is. MEZBX says, did you try to talk to Benavidez? No, I did not. He was drunk off of his ass, but don't worry about that. We'll be seeing him soon. Don't you worry about that. Do you think if either Usyk or Fury win the fight, then the case for England and Ukraine to be the greatest I mean, yeah, I mean those countries are both proud boxing countries. So whoever gets the first undisputed heavyweight champion in the last 20 years is gonna have a good case. And yes, he great. The content for the night owls, man. Where all my night owls at? Tap in. Benavidez gave his gold chain away. You know he was tipsy. Did he really? Well, look, I can't judge Benavidez for being drunk. I got drunk recently. I got drunk. I got drunk when I was out in Arizona after the Oscar Valdez Liam Wilson fight. I got invited to this club in Arizona, and I got drunk off my ass, man. I don't drink, but first time for everything, you know. I ain't never been that drunk in my entire life. Harold says, I bet you won't call Benavidez a weight bully. How much you want to bet? Put your money up. How much you want to bet? You want to bet, Harold? How much you willing to bet? Let's put 1,000 on it. Let's not do no small bets because I don't want to do small bets. Put a grand up. Put a grand up, Harold. Since you want to run your mouth and talk shit, Harold, put 1,000 up because I'm not doing no little bets with you. The zone did Benavidez wrong. They knew it. They knew, and they still did the interview. They definitely knew. I'm gonna tell y'all how I know the zone knew that he was drunk off of his ass. So where I was sitting, I had a pretty good seat. I was pretty damn close to the ring because the media section was very close to the ring because the venue was very small. So where we were positioned, where my seat was positioned, I was sitting next to Sean Tuttel, and we were very close to like the commentary where like Chris Mannix and Clarissa Shields were sitting. So Chris Mannix came over to where we were sitting, right like 5 minutes before he did the Benavidez interview, and he asked Sean to tell a question like, what did he say to Sean? He was like, "Oh, do you know where Benavidez is?" And then Sean pointed out where he was sitting, and then he said, "Yeah, he's a little drunk or tipsy." And Chris Mannix acknowledged it. He acknowledged it and said, "Yeah, he is." And then in like 5 minutes later, he was there interviewing him, and you guys saw what you saw. So they definitely knew, and they don't give a damn because Benavidez is not their fighter. They're not there to make Benavidez look good. They're just there to get interesting content for the platform. What does Eddie Hearn say? Value for money, yeah. He said, BT asked Benavidez how it feels to fight people his own size. That's a hell of a question. It's one I know people don't want to hear, but some people don't want to hear. But that's a great question. Yo, who's weight bully? If you make your weight and fight guys in your division, Canelo was weight bully because he made fighters move up to 152 early in his career. Yeah, I don't even want to get into all that weight bully talk right now. It's too late for all that talk, man. All that weight bully talk. It's too late for all that, man. But y'all know who they are. A lot of guys weight bullies in boxing. Then there's a counterpoint of, oh, well, there's no such thing as a weight bully in boxing. You know, you can either make the weight or you can't. So technically, nobody's weight bully if you can make the weight. But shout out to everybody here, man. Smash that like button. Do you think Tank versus Shakur will happen this year or next, BT? I don't think none of those fights are ever happening. When it comes to them dudes at 35, 40, those big names that have like no title defenses in their whole career to speak of, I don't put no stock, I don't put no hope, I don't put no energy or attention into if and when they ever fight because it just never happens. And if it does, it's gonna happen a while from now. But I wish it would happen soon for the sake of boxing fans. It's a good fight. Can you ask Benavidez about why he loves PBC? He's going to say, yeah, you know, because they're paying me good money. You know, they're paying me good fucking money, man. You know that's what he's going to say. Listen, guys, but honestly, look, on that note, you know, been here for over an hour. I'm getting a little tired. I need to get my rest. Before I end the live, because I'm going to end it, Stay tuned for all the content. I got a lot of videos. I got a couple of videos I'm dropping tomorrow. Check out all the interviews. If you haven't seen them already, check out all the shorts. There's still shorts from last night I haven't even put out yet, so look out for those. The channel is growing. I'm very satisfied with everything. It's been a great year. Tomorrow is the beginning of our last 10 days of 90 days of boxing, so hopefully you guys have been enjoying this whole series. It's definitely been challenging. It's been great, for me to come out here and practice what I preach and be a professional. And I know it's grown and it's deepened my relationship with you guys, the viewers. So yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow for day 80. It'll be the Aftermath Live, and yeah, I'll see you then. But you guys take care, enjoy your Sunday, get some rest. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just Kid from Dania. So until next time, take care, guys.